Hello, for this project we need to figure out what is the best land cover for a healthy watershed. The standard that I found was with engineering design, and it was analyzing data from tests of two objects. Those two objects would be the two different land covers to help with runoff, and both tests are to try to figure out to solve the same problem to limit the amount of runoff that happens. And with it, we're testing it to compare the strengths and weaknesses of each land cover. With the engineering design process, first you ask the question, so what is the best land cover for a healthy watershed? The one constraint with this is time. Time to grow the grass. I did not have enough time to grow grass to test it, so I chose other land covers. So first I had to imagine. So solution one, I thought I could try fallen leaves for one of the land materials, and then the other solution would be mulch. So my plan was to cut 3 water bottles so that the soil and other materials could fit inside without the water running out. Just through the spout part when I opened the lid. I had to cut off bottoms of water bottles and make holes to attach yarn to hang from the bottles filled with material to catch the runoff water. I then added soil to all the bottles. I added leaves to one of the bottles on top of the soil, mulch on top of the other, and I kept one just soil. I then created it. You saw that on the previous page, the created part of it. After I created it, I poured water over top of the soil and other materials. And then as it was running over, I just had to be careful of how much water I was pouring in so that it didn't overflow the cup that it was running into. I found that as I was doing this, that the leaves actually worked the best and had the least amount of debris in the water runoff, which surprised me. I was thinking it might be the mulch that would do that. But as you can see in the picture, the first cup filled with water is the one, the runoff from just the soil. The middle one is the runoff from the leaves, and the one on the right is the runoff from the mulch. So one thing I could do to improve it is to make the one thing I had to do to improve it as I was going is to make the string shorter on the cup that held, on the cup that caught the running off of the water. It was too long, and I was afraid it was going to splash out and make a mess and just spill on the floor. So I just tied it and made it shorter so that it was closer to the spout where the water was coming out. I would also like to try it again with grass and maybe compare the grass and leaves to see which would work best. So as for STEM practices, under the science category, I found that ask questions and develop and use models were two of the STEM practices used in this activity. Engineering part was defining the problem and also planning and carrying out investigations. With technology, we recognize the role that technology plays in advancement of science and engineering, and with mathematics to make sense of the problems and persevere in solving them.